When I was 60, I was diagnosed with advanced sarcopenia. My doctors told me I had at best 14 months before I would lose the ability to walk independently. That was 45 years ago. My name is William Carter. I live alone in a two-bedroom house in Asheville, North Carolina. I cook my own meals, tend my own garden, walk 2 miles every morning before the neighborhood wakes up, and I have not asked my children for help with a single thing since I was 75 years old. I left the assisted living facility they moved me into against medical advice, and I have never looked back. I do not want anyone to go through what I did. That is why I made this video. I am going to show you everything. The exercises, the daily habits, and the small changes that helped me rebuild the strength in my legs until even my physical therapist admitted they had never expected a recovery like this. I am going to show you the practical things you can start tomorrow morning, the things that cost almost nothing and require no special equipment. But I am also going to tell you about the part I kept to myself for many years, the conversation that changed the way I looked at growing older, and the reason I believe explains the other 70% of why I am still able to walk on my own at 105. Most people do not know what to do with that part, and that is perfectly fine. You are old enough to decide for yourself what is worth believing. Before we begin, tell me in the comments, can you stand up from a chair without using your hands? Yes or no? Your answer today does not have to be your answer forever. Stay with me until the very end, because the order of what I'm about to share matters. Every step builds on the one before it. The exercises you are about to see are real, and they changed my life. But looking back after 45 years, I honestly believe they explain only about 30% of why I am still walking with strong legs at 105. The other 70% is something almost nobody talks about anymore, and I will share that with you before this video ends. For the first year after my diagnosis, I did everything I was told to do, and I kept getting weaker. I rested more, walked every day, avoided stairs, and even started using a cane. Still, every month it became harder to stand up from a chair and walk without support. My doctors were not wrong. Their advice kept me safe, but safety was not the same as rebuilding strength. Years later, I learned the truth. Sarcopenia is the progressive loss of muscle and strength. Walking is good for your health, but it cannot rebuild muscles that are already disappearing. That was the missing piece, and until I understood it, nothing was going to change my future. The first thing I changed was what happened before I ever took my first step. For years, I would wake up, swing my legs out of bed, and stand up as quickly as I could. Every single morning, my legs felt stiff, heavy, and unreliable. I thought that was simply part of getting older. It was not. Years later, after I had rebuilt my strength, I spent a great deal of time trying to understand why those first few minutes of the morning mattered so much. I learned that after several hours without movement, the muscles, joints, and nervous system need time to wake up together. If you ask weak muscles to support your full body weight before they are ready, you increase the risk of instability and falls. Here is exactly what I have done every single morning for more than 40 years. Before I stand up, I sit on the edge of my bed and begin with ankle pumps. I slowly pull my toes toward me, then point them away. I repeat this movement 15 to 20 times with each foot. It takes less than a minute, but I can actually feel the circulation returning to my lower legs and my ankles becoming more responsive. Next, I move to seated marching. Sitting tall in a sturdy chair, I slowly lift one knee, lower it with control, then lift the other. I never rush. I focus on smooth, deliberate movement because my goal is not speed. My goal is to remind every muscle in my legs that it is time to work again. Only after these movements do I stand up and begin my day. This simple morning routine costs nothing. It requires no special equipment, no expensive membership, and no remarkable athletic ability. Yet it prepares your muscles before they carry your body. Looking back, I believe these few minutes changed the quality of every step I took afterward. Make of that what you will. I have not missed this routine in longer than I can remember. 45 years later, I still begin every morning the same way. Before I ask my legs to carry me, I wake them up first. The exercise that changed everything was almost embarrassingly simple. I spent years believing I needed something more complicated. I was wrong. The movement that gave me my life back was supported sit to stand. This exercise trains one of the most important movements you perform every single day, standing up from a chair. If you cannot do that safely and confidently, walking, climbing stairs, getting out of bed, and living independently all become harder with every passing year. Here is exactly how I do it. I sit near the front of a sturdy chair with both feet flat on the floor, about shoulder width apart. I lean my body slightly forward, press firmly through my heels, tighten my thighs, and slowly stand up. I do not use momentum. I let my leg muscles do the work. If you are just beginning, start with level 1. Place both hands on the armrests or the sides of the chair and use only enough assistance to complete the movement safely. There is no shame in using support. The goal is to build strength, not to impress anyone. When that begins to feel easier, move to level 2. Instead of pushing with your whole hand, use only your fingertips. This forces your legs to take over while still giving you enough confidence to stay balanced. Eventually, if your body is ready, progress to level 3. Stand up without using your hands at all. The first time I did that, after believing I never would again, I realized my future had changed. But here is the part almost everyone overlooks. Standing up is only half of the exercise. Lowering yourself back into the chair is just as important. I slowly lower myself over 3 to 4 seconds until I'm sitting again. That slow lowering phase challenges the muscles to control my body weight instead of simply letting gravity do the work. It builds strength, stability, and confidence in a way that rushing never will. When I started, I performed 5 repetitions, rested for 30 seconds, then repeated another set only if I still felt steady and in control. I never chased exhaustion. I chased consistency. Looking back after 45 years, I believe this single exercise did more to restore my ability to stand, walk, climb stairs, and remain independent than anything else I ever tried. Sometimes the movement that gives you your life back is the same movement you have been avoiding all along. The main exercise rebuilt my strength, but it was never the whole story. Looking back after 45 years, I believe these 3 supporting exercises were just as important. They improved my balance, stabilized every step, and helped me stay independent long after most people expected I would not. The first supporting exercise is heel raises. Stand behind a sturdy chair and rest your hands lightly on the backrest. Slowly rise onto your toes as high as you comfortably can, then lower your heels back to the floor with complete control. Do not bounce, do not rush. This movement strengthens your calves, improves the push that drives every step forward, and makes climbing stairs and walking uphill noticeably easier. The second supporting exercise is toe raises. Keep your heels firmly on the floor while lifting the front of both feet toward your shins. Lower them slowly, then repeat. These muscles are responsible for lifting your feet as you walk. When they become weak, your toes begin catching on carpets, curbs, and uneven sidewalks. That is one of the hidden reasons so many older adults lose their balance and fall. The third supporting exercise is supported single leg balance. Stand beside a sturdy chair and hold it lightly with one hand. Lift one foot just a few inches off the floor and hold the position for several seconds before switching sides. This exercise trains your body to react more quickly when your balance is challenged, making every step steadier and more confident. Here is exactly how I perform them. I complete 10 repetitions of heel raises, followed by 10 repetitions of toe raises. Then I practice supported single leg balance on both legs. After finishing all 3 exercises, I rest for 30 seconds and repeat the entire routine one more time. These 3 supporting exercises take only a few minutes, require no special equipment, and cost absolutely nothing. Yet together they strengthen the muscles that keep you steady, reduced my risk of falling, and made every step feel more secure. Looking back, they were the perfect complement to the main exercise and an important reason I am still walking confidently at 105. Everything I have shared with you so far is real. These exercises are real, and they help me rebuild the strength I thought I had lost forever. I encourage anyone with weak legs to begin them as soon as possible. But looking back after 45 years, I honestly believe they explain only about 30% of why I am still walking independently today. The biggest mistake I made was believing that harder always meant better. On good days, I pushed too much. On bad days, I skipped my routine completely. Neither helped me get stronger. What changed everything was consistency. I stopped chasing perfect workouts and simply showed up every single day, even if I could only do a few careful repetitions. I also learned that muscles do not grow stronger while you exercise. They grow stronger while they recover. That is why good sleep, enough protein, and proper hydration became just as important as the exercises themselves. Together, they gave my body the opportunity to repair and rebuild. There was one more lesson I wish I had learned sooner. Know the difference between effort and pain. Tired muscles are normal. Sharp pain, pain that keeps getting worse, or sudden loss of balance is your body's way of telling you to stop and recover. Most importantly, I never rushed my progress. I increased repetitions only after every movement felt steady and controlled. I removed support only when my legs were truly ready. Looking back after 45 years, I believe everything I have shared so far explains only about 30% of why I am still living independently at 105. The other 70% is something much quieter, and I will tell you about that now. It was a Tuesday morning during the second year after my diagnosis. My progress had slowed, and for the first time in months, I began wondering if everyone had been right from the beginning. Maybe this was simply what happened when you grew older. Maybe weak legs were not something you could change. Maybe I had already reached the best I would ever become. I had just finished my exercises when an old friend stopped by to see me. We sat on the porch for a long time, and after listening to me talk about my frustrations, he asked me one simple question. Are you training to become stronger, or are you training while still believing you are getting weaker? I did not answer right away because I realized I had never asked myself that question. Every morning I completed my routine, but every morning another voice inside my head quietly repeated the same message. I am too old. My legs will never get stronger. I will probably fall anyway. Exercise is no longer for someone my age. That conversation made me realize I had been exercising with my body while surrendering with my mind. Every repetition was competing against years of fear, doubt, and beliefs I had accepted without ever questioning them. I did not suddenly become younger. I did not pretend the risks disappeared. I did not ignore the reality of aging. I simply stopped treating those realities like a final sentence. I stopped measuring myself against who I had been 20 years earlier and started measuring myself against who I'd been yesterday. From that day forward, I showed up. Some mornings I felt strong. Other mornings I felt stiff and slow. It did not matter. I did the work anyway. I trusted that the body can continue adapting when we give it a reason to adapt. Looking back after 45 years, I believe that was the other 70%. It was never a miracle. It was patience. It was consistency. It was refusing to let fear make decisions for me. It was believing that every careful repetition was an investment in the next day, not a test I had to pass today. If you answered no when I first asked whether you could stand up from a chair without using your hands, remember this. No today does not mean no forever. Today you may need both hands. Tomorrow you may need only one. Then perhaps only your fingertips. One day you may stand up without any support at all. Progress almost always arrives one small step at a time. Before you go, leave a comment and tell me 3 things. Can you stand up from a chair without using your hands? Yes or no? How old are you? And where are you watching from? I read your comments every day, and your story may be the encouragement someone else needs to begin their own journey. Try these exercises for the next 7 days and come back to tell me what changed. Then share this video with someone who has started believing weak legs are simply their destiny. They may need to hear that it is not too late to begin again. I am 105 years old. I walked this morning. I worked in my garden. I stood up from my chair without asking anyone for help. Your first step may be small, but take it today.